Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Thin Ice Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay. Life is pain, Cluet. Here on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, Mark and I have been through all three Deep Blue Sea films, chapter by chapter, scene by scene, episode by episode. We're now looking at Deep Blue Sea adjacent films. Those are films featuring sharks, aquatic action, or directed by Renny Harlin. This is the second part of our Happy Harlin Days celebration of the Renny Harlin holiday films. We're doing for 2022. We did Die Hard 2 with Will Slater from Exploding Helicopter earlier this month. And now we're looking at the Long Kiss Goodnight. What is a Long Kiss Goodnight? What is a 1996 film directed by Renny Harlin, starring his then wife Geena Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, and written by Shane Black. Geena Davis plays a school teacher who woke up on a beach 8 years ago with amnesia. It turns out she might be a government assassin, as her past catches up with her in the form of lots of bullets and shooting and action scenes. It's a fun time. So, Mark, let's get into Long Kiss Goodnight.
It's amazing. I love this movie. Is beautiful. Shane Black earned every cent of his $4 million paycheck for this script. But you know what though? I think even though it made $95 million worldwide, which is not bad for an R-rated violent film, that's much more violent than I think anyone anticipated.
Yeah. Yes.
Like wildly violent movie, but it's something that, like, I remember watching this, and I remember in '96 there was a lot of bad buzz about this because Harlin and Geena Davis were coming off Cutthroat Island, and a lot of people were really sour on that movie, even though it's amazing. Listen to it on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast.
Hell yeah.
And then Shane Black's $4 million paycheck, and so the majority of this movie was just about Cutthroat Island. Oh, Renny Harlin's putting his wife in action films. Yeah, Renny Harlin's putting his Mensa level brilliant Olympic archer.
Yeah.
Badass wife in an action role. That's terrible. And Shane Black's $4 million paycheck. But then when you sat down and watched this movie, he's like, I'm going to put my gun in my right pocket. There's a bulge. Well, I'm not going to put it in my pants. I'll shoot my you-know-what off. She's like, oh, you're a sharpshooter now? It's just like Geena Davis and her cadence was born to say Shane Black dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah, some people get Shane Black dialogue. They understand the flow and cadence of it. Others don't. And she and Sam Jackson are perfect, and I love them in this movie, man. They're like one of my favorite duos. They're beautiful.
I agree. Shane Black's one of my guys. He's a guy I love all of his films that he's involved with, basically, apart from The Predator. But Long Kiss Goodnight is a film that I saw once years and years and years ago and just kind of never went back to it. All I could remember from it was Sam Jackson singing, "Put my keys in my pocket," like singing the things that he does. I couldn't remember anything else. It was all a surprise to me, and I was not expecting it to be quite as violent as it is. And if I had remembered that, I maybe wouldn't have watched it with my wife. Because when there's the car crash and she snaps the neck of the deer, like leading up to that point, it'd just been like, hey, there's this lady, she's a teacher, she's in the town, and everything's nice. Oh my god. And my wife was like, what the hell is this film? And then kind of looked down for the rest of the duration and busied herself making Christmas garlands.
You blow some bubbles while you're driving here, Jay?
Yeah. Because it is brutal at times. People die in this film, and not well.
What did someone say on our Mindhunters episode that happens to people in Renny Harlin movies? They don't die.
Lindsay.
That was hilarious what Lindsay said. They don't like.
It's not like they die hard, but it wasn't Die Hard because that's a film.
Yeah,
they die. Yeah.
They really die.
Yeah, and that's a Renny Harlin staple. It's like when people die, they stay dead. You find Brian Cox in the water, like he was alive minutes ago. We were talking to him, and he was like being pleasant, and now he's dead. Oh.
People really die, and I didn't. Sam Jackson said that Sam Jackson supposedly died, and people were like, "You can't kill Sam Jackson in this movie. You can't kill him."
And then Renny Harlin's like, hold my beer 3 years later.
Yeah. And, Sam Jackson repeatedly says that this is his favorite movie to work on. He says he loves watching this movie, and he simply says, because I love working with Geena Davis. Like, there's the scene where he's smoking, and she's slamming the door on him, and he blows a last little puff of smoke into the room on her. And just, the two of them, and when he whistles at the lady, she's like, "Oh, you got whiplash? You all right?" She's like, "I bet that lady just feels great because you woohooed at her."
He gets a lot of business to do in this one. He's
Yeah.
in the supporting role, but he's second build. This is Geena Davis's film, but he has a lot of eccentricities, a lot of like quirks to his character, but he's still like a really believable guy with a lot of great dialogue. I can absolutely understand why this is his favorite role. It's like,
He's the dude in distress.
yeah, it's a similar role to when he's in Die Hard with a Vengeance, where he's like the second banana, but he's doing loads. He's there all the time. He's doing a great deal. He's got more character here than he had as Zeus. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he's the side character who's not a side character.
That's kind of the Sam Jackson trait. He hasn't been the lead of many films. If you think about it, like he's the lead in Shaft. I think he's the lead in Renny Harlin's Cleaner. I think, but I haven't seen it. That's a future episode. Which
Black Snake Moan.
But then that's more Christina Ricci's film. I think he's the supporting in that. Not to take anything away from him. That's just he's often the second build, but like really highly placed second build, like Unbreakable. He's second build, but like that's a Sam Jackson film almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like Changing Lanes, I would say it's more Ben Affleck's film than Sam Jackson's film, but it's close. It's close.
That's interesting.
He's often the kind of just second place.
But then he steals the show.
Yeah.
This character has so much more character, though. There's a scene where he's tied up in this basement, and he's, the bad guys got him, and Geena Davis, or I guess we should call her Charlie Baltimore, comes in to save him.
Great name, Charlie Baltimore. Great name.
It's amazing, Charlie. It's not even with an E. It's like you could Madison the spelling of Charlie. It's wonderful, and it's just he's curled up like scared because of the gunfights, and later on he's like, "Come back and save me." Like he's not doing the saving. She's doing the saving. And this is 96, Jay. I was talking to Megan. I put this on. Megan walked in the room, and she didn't watch really many R-rated movies growing up, but she walks in and she goes, "I love this movie." She said growing up, she said that like she loved Geena Davis in this movie because I think she saw this in high school, and she was like, "I have never seen really this before." And it's true, man. Like 90s weren't really low. You could go, "Oh, well, you got Sarah Connor. Who else? Ripley.
Xena.
Yeah, you just have a couple people, and like, oh man, she's great in martial arts movies. I know, I forget her name.
I know who you mean, but I can't think of her name.
Yeah, but they were never in theatrical releases. Like she was an absolute Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah, Cynthia Rothrock. Okay, you beat me to it. Okay.
Beast, but watching this movie, she's unapologetic. She is just a straight up murderer. She just sort of. Yeah, you guys can suck my blah blah blah. It's watching this at 14. I distinctly remember how violent it was, and then I remember thinking, wait, she's the hero. And then you take this switch, and then it became a much darker movie. They put her in these giant outfits in the beginning, these big billowing dresses, and then she becomes Charlie Baltimore, and you're like, wait, what? And then she's just murdering folks, and it's a cool movie, man. And Harlan gets it. It's a Renny Harlin movie, man, because there's a car chase, but she's on ice skates,
which she laces up incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's a Renny Harlin move. When there's always a stock scene. There's a kitchen fight with a shark.
Yeah,
like there's
a kitchen fight here. Yeah, with a pie dish.
Oh. My arms just collapsed.
When it gets to the Deep Blue Sea comparisons, it's a long old list for this one. It's like Renny Harlin. We discussed it with Die Hard 2. He's an auteur. He has so many things that he carries from film to film. Like yeah.
Oh man, the pie dish, and then I mean she puts a pie in his face and kills him, and she throws her daughter out.
Yeah, that's a dying hard scene when he gets punched in the back of the head. Oh my god, that's a problem. Yeah. Like the look that her boyfriend gives her at the time, like I can understand that look. That's like fear and confusion, and what am I seeing here? I've known this woman for many years, and what has she just done to this guy with one eye?
Has falling in love with someone with amnesia or memory loss ever turned out good? So Born Identity, Famke Potente, I forget her, I can't pronounce her last name too great, but she, she gets in some trouble. This movie, like, never date someone who, because they're either married, or there's like Hallmark movies where they're married, then they bump their head. There's just a Lindsay Lohan one where she bumped her head.
I haven't seen it, but how does Overboard turn out? Does that turn out well?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it does, because it seems like a rom-com where the couple get married in real life.
It's one of those movies, Jay, where if it's not Kurt Russell and it's somebody else, it's going to play horribly wrong.
Well, they had the remake. They had the
Anna Faris
and
the guy from Coda.
Eugene something.
I like him a lot too. He's really good. You know, people didn't. Did you see Coda?
Yeah, Coda's great.
Oh, wait, Eugenio Derbez.
That's the one.
Yeah. I liked his teacher in that, but a lot of people didn't like his teacher character. They're like, oh, he's stock. But I'm like, I liked him.
It was fun. Yeah. I don't know if it was like best picture material, but I liked it as a film. It was great.
Yeah, I did forget it came out.
Yeah.
But then I kind of thought, oh yeah, I watched that and I really liked it. But it's, where were we? Okay, so we're Geena Davis, Memory, Overboard. Okay, there we are.
There we go. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like this movie and that kitchen fight where he slips on the green and red M&Ms. It's
so many
silly.
M&Ms. Biggest bowl of M&Ms I've ever seen.
And then that shotgun blows a hole through a 3-foot high by 2-foot wide hole in
big enough
wall.
to throw a child through. Which I love the first thought of, I gotta get my kid out. That's a treehouse. Okay. Throw her into the treehouse. The side of the house.
Just beast modes are in there. And then the boyfriend runs in and gets him and his sweater get immediately obliterated violently.
Yeah.
When he falls on the ground, Jay, I was like, is he dead? Like, people, when they get knocked out in this movie, it's violent. Like they get unconscious hard in this movie. And just that, oh man, and then what? She punches him in the back of the neck, then she pulls his head up, and then she finds blood and meringue, and she puts it in her mouth and licks it. It's this, man, what a movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then Sam Jackson takes those two guys. He has a great introduction, by the way, Sam Jackson.
Yeah, with Rex Lynn from Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Renny Harlin regular.
People must love coming back and working with Harlan, because Sam Jackson's done it 3 times.
Geena Davis did it twice.
LL Cool J's done it twice. I know Stallone will do it again because of Driven.
I haven't seen Driven yet, but we're going to get there soon.
You got to listen to that separate commentary track.
Yeah, Rex Lynn did 3 films with Harlan, I think, because he's in another one as well. He's in... I forget which one. We talked about. I can't remember which one it is. Cutthroat Island. He's in Cutthroat Island, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, people must love working with Harlan. He just, you know what? I think he loves movies, man. And while researching this movie, I learned that when he married Geena Davis in 1993, they had an elephant, they had hot air balloon rides, a skywriter painted interlocking hearts across the sky, and the budget for the wedding was $700,000.
Wow. Okay.
And then they go, was the wedding worth it? I don't know, he says. We just tried to make it beautiful and romantic and as memorable as possible. And he said he didn't want to get married because he thought it would ruin his career. So he's 34. So he had the money. They ended up but imagine you have elephants and a hot air balloon. Like, that's a Harlan wedding. Like, he doesn't even he weddings hard.
Yeah. I mean, we had alpacas and peacocks at our wedding.
Oh, nice.
But no,
how many peacocks?
They came with the venue. We just had this place where they just had peacocks roaming around. I was like, yeah, why not?
If they're there, I thought you were going to say they came with alpacas as like a package deal.
That'd be a strange package.
Yeah, you can have the pacas and the peacocks, or the alpacas and the mallard geese and the Canadian geese, and you don't want Canadian geese at your wedding.
You rent 2 alpacas, they throw in 5 peacocks for free. But it's up to you to round them up at the end of the day.
I'll give you one alpaca $100, or I'll give you 2 alpacas and 3 peacocks free. All right.
Yeah, it's silly not to. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? I mean, why not? And 2 alligators. No, let's leave those
no
out.
thank you.
But you know
not
what's
gonna end
surprising about this movie too? It's one of Rennie's rare fresh movies.
Yeah, it's
Like
one of his highest rated, isn't it?
yeah, it's only 68%, but it also has quite a high IMDb. Like its IMDb scores what, 6.8? Yep, 6.8, which isn't terrible. Only 81K votes though, which is kind of a bummer because people don't really talk about this movie, which is a shame.
I mean, I mentioned it to some people at work who love 90s action films, hadn't heard of this film. It's like hadn't heard of it. Yeah, it's just one that just didn't connect with people. I think it could be like you said, after Cutthroat Island not doing well and Shane Black coming off of Last Action Hero, it just didn't. Which a film I like a lot, but it didn't set the world on fire in terms of box office.
And that one had a bunch of buzz for the budget too, so he had double negative reviews.
Yeah, and it's just like Geena Davis, her career kind of stalled a little bit after this. She like this is her last like starring thing, and then like Shane Black took a decade off after making this. Like people called him sort of the cash grab. He's gone Hollywood, so like okay, well just we'll take another check. I'll make another film or direct it myself in 10 years. Which Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, wonderful film. Many parallels to Long Kiss Goodnight. The whole climax at the end is the same, like being set on a bridge and miraculously getting a gun off of a body that's hanging to shoot somebody. There's a lot of parallels with this in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
And even Deep Blue Sea, it's on a walkway, and he picks up a gun that was left.
But that's not Shane Black. That's
that's true. Oh crap. Oh yeah, my bad. I was like, wait a second.
But like Shane Black, it turns out, reuses a lot of his dialogue as well. It's here and there. Like what Brian Cox saying he has a gun in his groin because people like guys don't check there is a line from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and there are bits here taken from the last Boy Scout as well.
Wow.
But like Aaron Sorkin does that too. There's supercuts of Sorkin repeating things. So yeah, writers write the same thing often, I'm sure.
I mean, look, and like you said, most auteurs. I mean, look at Del Toro, look at Wes Anderson, look at Renny Harlin. Like they all have. It happens when you write so much.
It happens.
I bet you forgot.
Like I'm sure we both have things we've unintentionally written. Well, we've written reviews again and again.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You fall in the same pattern of like 4 paragraphs, 1, 1, 1, 1. Like this is this in that paragraph, this is in that. But yeah, I think this movie. I think you're right though, Jay. People just don't know about this because you had the Shane Black negativity, you had the Cutthroat Island negativity, and it was just sort of dumped in the theaters. And it's weird though. A lot of people say that this movie was a box office bomb, but the budget was around 60 million, and it made 95 million internationally. So this is not. I mean, with marketing, they say that sometimes like half the cost. So this wasn't a bomb. I think even with marketing, this movie made its money back internationally. So I don't understand the narrative of this movie tanked.
I think it's that it didn't do enough to make up for Cutthroat Island. I think to like really pull them out of it, they need to like triple the budget on this one. But remember, Cutthroat Island had like a 90 million deficit. That cost almost 100 million, made 10. So that's a big hole to come out of. So the money that film lost was how much it cost to make. But the money that film lost was how much this one made, and you had got to take in the budget off of this one. So there's still a 60 million hole.
That's a great. If you keep doing the math, but wait, that's a really great point though, because this, like, people just assume this movie's a box office flop, but I think the Cutthroat Island effect still weighs on it. If this came before it, I think 65 million budget, made a hundo. That's cool. Like that's not bad. Like an original IP with a female lead. The studio was like, hey, can we get a male lead? Like, no. No. With like why? Like what? I love that Geena Davis has to rescue her daughter. It's like Commando. He has to rescue his daughter. True Lies rescues his daughter. Geena Davis rescues her daughter. Like I love that she stepped into that trope. And you know what I like too is, I was talking to Megan about this. She's still like she doesn't become just like the alpha male. Like afterwards, she still has a sense of humor. She's cool. At the end, she has her daughter. Like she doesn't become this like super manlier than man woman hero who's trying to be tough. She's still cool and like loves her daughter and like is cool with Sam Jackson. And
the kind of the resolution is that yes, she's this government assassin, but the initial character, the teacher character, was part of her the whole time. So she's like she mellows as an assassin and becomes like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so. And killing gnats, like killing flies with our cicadas, whatever, with their knives at the end.
Which I like to think that a bug saw this film was like, well, Mr. Harlin, if you're going to do that, your next film, we're going to take over the whole set and drive you out with locusts.
They got back at him for it.
Yeah, you kill one of us, we destroy your film.
Oh, I love that tidbit too. Oh man, but yeah, this is just a fun flick, but I do think it's not high concept at all though. When you think about Hard Rain, there's a robbery during a rainstorm. Snakes on a plane. Snakes are on a plane. Yeah. This Long Kiss Goodnight. Hey Mark, can you explain Long Kiss Goodnight to me? Well, Geena Davis is a school teacher, but then she gets into a car accident, but then she bumps her head, but then some guy breaks out of prison because she was in a program and like he shot her in the head and she gets amnesia. She's found on a beach and then he attacks her and then she teams up with Sam Jackson, but then they go see Brian Cox and then they go visit David Morse and then he's tortured. Then Craig Bierko comes in there. He's the daughter of her child, but they're going to blow up a bridge to start a war to get more funding.
There's a bomb in a truck and a frozen Muslim in the I think I read somewhere that Sam Jackson and Geena Davis described it as the most complicated Christmas film. Which I can see. It's not a film that you apologize for saying that we had a drink in. But I can see that happening, that being the case, because it's not a straightforward plot. And it is also, the title I think is bad, because I always forget what it's called. So there is one line of dialogue of saying like the death is the Long Kiss Goodnight or something, but it's a bad title.
It sounds like a Humphrey Bogart noir.
Yeah, it should be like Charlie Baltimore, The Adventure Begins or something. It's like...
see? It's a Long Kiss Goodnight, see? Where's Bugsy at? Go to Chicago and battle Capone, see? Where's De Niro? But yeah, that's a weird title. It has quite a shift. When she comes out as Charlie Baltimore and like flashes him and it's like, yeah, it's like a virgin. You bite her ear.
There's the dream sequence where she's up on the cliff, and she stabbed Jack in the eye. Took his eye out when he comes back. I want my eye back. I liked that his nickname is One-Eyed Jack, but he's only had that nickname in prison. Like he was Jack. He was Two-Eyed Jack maybe. Before he met Charlie Baltimore, and then she took his eye out. He was locked up, and everyone just calls him One-Eyed Jack. Does he know he's called One-Eyed Jack? He's locked up.
He's by himself watching TV. Does he get special privilege?
Mad at that TV. He's so furious at that TV.
I'm gonna beat up this TV.
And like he's got one eye, and he gets so furious because he recognizes this woman on TV through a kind of a metal grate. It's not a big TV. It's not a great focus. What are the chances that's just somebody who looks like her? That's just some stranger. No, it's silly to pick plot holes in this, but like it's to become that incensed and break out of prison on a murderous rampage because you see someone on TV who looks like someone you're pretty sure is dead, I think is a little extreme.
Has he not watched the Brendan Fraser Pauly Shore extended universe? There can be multiple people in a world.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. There are, in fact.
This could have been her twin.
But this is one of my I really like the film, but one of my kind of negatives about it is there's kind of too much coincidence a little bit. And it's a pet peeve of mine where things kind of happen separately, no relation to each other. Where so she has the accident that kind of starts jogging her memory, bring about who she is. That's entirely separate from One-Eyed Jack seeing her in prison, breaking out and hunting her down, which is entirely separate from Sam Jackson, Mitch Hennessy, his bliss. finding out more
Yeah.
information about Geena Davis and the three of them kind of converging. I feel like we could have had One-Eyed Jack seeing her in prison, breaking out, and when he meets up with her, that sparking her memory on to come. There's too many things that have all just happened at the same time that could have been related to each other, but all happened separately. I don't know. That's just me.
So the plot just goes to about 8,000 different places, and there's a lot of coincidences.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Yeah.
And
that's not lost on me. It really isn't. This is a very complicated movie, and then it's like you said, with some excellent timing in it as well.
And a fantastic supporting cast. You mentioned
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, David Morse, not in the film enough. They have like a couple of scenes each. And Brian Cox, I love him. He's great in many things. His character feels a little overwritten. So his dialogue,
way overwritten.
His dialogue is not. Normal people don't speak like this.
No. It's true with Shane Black. If it's not delivered right or organically, you feel it. You get taken right out of the movie. And sometimes there are some lines in this movie where it's very obviously it's a Shane Black movie, so it's very written. Every movie's written, but he writes hard. Yeah. And so if you don't nail that cadence, Jay, Brian Cox, like sometimes he's a wonderful actor, but you're sitting there going, "Oh man, this is
his monologue about the dog licking its butthole is just like, how long have you been sitting on that?" He's been sort of seething for 3 hours concocting this monologue about this dog.
I can finally drop this monologue. Yes. I mean, to be fair, it was 96. So like everybody was monologuing in 96. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not condoning it. But it was a very monologue heavy time in the 90s there after Pulp Fiction and Shane Black's rise. Like, it was just monologue after monologue. Yeah, that was. But still, David Morse pops up. Like big old David Morse is just in there for a little bit.
Always great. Always great. Yeah.
And like Craig Bierko just hamming it up. He's so over the top. He's such a 90s villain that I'm a big fan of his. And remember in the beginning where the guy's kind of like, just shoot me, don't stab me. And then when he stabs that guy, he like leans into it really heavily. It's a very awkward stab, but that's everything he does in this movie is just big. And Craig Bierko goes big in this movie, but that's fun. Like it's still kind of a cheeky. He enjoys. I think he nails the Shane Black dialogue as well.
I think so too. Yeah, he's having fun with it. Like when he finds out that it's his daughter, Billy's gonna die. It's like, oh, yeah. you must be the bad guy in this film. I worked it out now. I do feel like we're missing the kind of the one big bad guy. We've got Craig Bierko as Timothy. We've got Patrick Malahide. We've got David Morse. There's a few they kind of spread the villainy about. There's not like one, you're the bad guy. And that's we had the same problem with Die Hard 2. Where there's no there's no Alan Rickman. You've got Sadler, you've got John Amos, you've got Dennis Franz. You've got these kind of lower level guys, and there's no like, I hate you so much. So I don't know if that's a Harlan thing or a Shane Black thing, but then like looking at Shane Black's films, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang doesn't have a real like, you're the bad guy as well. It's like a few smaller ones in there.
Did Shane Black write Lethal Weapon? He wrote Lethal Weapon, yes. Correct?
Yes,
and even there is a bad guy in that, but it's kind of Mr. Joshua, and then it's the older guy. Easy. Yeah, like he's the main sort of villain in that, so you kind of can focus on him a lot. That's a really good point, Jay, because Speed, Hopper, Matrix, the agents, you have, but like Hard Rain doesn't have a villain twist until the end. I know Bierko's technically the villain, but he works for somebody, and you don't really get to spend much time with them. So there really is no one to really root against or make shorter, like in Speed. Oh man, yeah, but I'm taller.
Die screaming is a good kiss-off line. Yeah, you're gonna die screaming, and then when screaming, that's fun.
Oh, I love that line. She's, you know what though, like. Geena Davis, in Ebert's review, he was kind of saying that, Geena Davis did all of her stunts, but you can't see her doing her stunts. But that's the Renny Harlin staple, though. He puts his actors in it.
Yeah.
He he knocks them around. He puts them in the Italian, mountains, freezing cold
He
to
will
be up
drop you off a
there.
mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I like that she's in this a lot, the physicality of it, like her roles. Like I think she nails it, and I don't think she needs a stunt person in this. It was cool seeing her embracing that. And
Oh, absolutely.
I love, I said the intro was Mark Thin Ice. I love when they go to the station and they come across, like, before they walk in, you see the Thin Ice sign, and then you get Sam Jackson telling her about the gun in his right pocket,
Yeah.
and then she uses the gun in his right pocket. Then they jump out the window and she
Like
shoots the ice
she
out.
shoots through his pocket, which he then
Yeah,
tapes up later in the film. That's cool.
and she explodes. The people explode from that little gun there. But that's another Renny Harlin get murdered hard.
It's a film. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get obliterated. But yeah, I like that it's just weird with Renny Harlin because he does lay down geography pretty good. Like when she's ice skating after the car, you get a nice wide shot of where she's going. Oh, there the car's going there. I'm going to go here with my ice skates. Or on a bridge, I'm going to use this counterbalance to shoot myself up, and then I'm going to shoot you. There's a nice, as always, like we've said, he does do a good job of kind of guiding the viewers into the absolute absurdity of his action scenes.
Like, I mean, in that hallway where they shoot out the wall and they shoot out the ice, they're outrunning an explosion. Which is it's always fun. And then they outrun another one or outdrive another one at the end of the film as well. That's always fun when that happens. Like, oh, this explosion is confined to this corridor we're running down. We can beat it. It's okay. But that is a wonderful scene. The shooting out the wall and then jumping and shooting out the ice. I love that moment. My favorite moment has got to be the veg chopping, the vegetable when she discovers her knife skills. That's such a fun scene.
Megan was like,
"Throw me something, cut it! I'm gonna cut stuff."
And then she takes it. There's always that person who takes it too far, and everyone gets uncomfortable. And then she stabs the tomato. But like, just the glee of it, like, here, take these. Yeah, just take this. Like, just throwing peppers, and that's a fun scene right there because the joy of it, right? Like that's
You can imagine that for years she's had nothing about her past. She's hired so many detectives, they've come up with nothing, and now there's this glimmer of like, oh, this is some key to who I might. This is something to hold on to, and the excitement of that scene is palpable. And then she takes it too far and stabs an onion into a cupboard door, and that cupboard door is ruined.
There's a I thought, what's funny, Jay? We're homeowners, and so whenever I see destruction in homes, I'm like, oh, that's sink. Like, oh man, that if I had, I have to replace that now. Like, if someone, it just makes me laugh. I love that. And also too, the refrigerator door blocks the shotgun blast, but not the wall.
I think it makes sense. Refrigerator doors can be pretty tough. They're like lined and insulated, and walls are just. I mean, some American houses I'm aware of aren't made very well. Yeah, exactly. They can survive anything. It's so nuke.
This is like, get over yourself, Mark. But yeah, it's the guy blows a hole in the wall, and then that. But then you wouldn't have the great kitchen fight.
Yeah, it is a great kitchen fight.
She custard pies him and kills him, or like cuts him open. It's amazing.
Yeah, they can't seem to decide if Geena Davis's character is attractive in this film. I found as well. Like, because you've got like Sam Jackson saying that she looks like she's much better than the jogger from the neck up. He says, but she says she's very attractive. Like, loads of men ogle or pop a feel at various times. At least 3 people claim to have throughout the course of the film had tried to have a way with her. But then Brian Cox and Geena Davis herself describe how she's become after the amnesia as being frumpier and having a giant ass now.
Yeah, I gained 10 pounds. Look at this thing. Yeah, they are all over the place, aren't they? They're kind of.
Yeah, people's tastes are different, but.
Yeah, that's true. But it's Geena Davis.
Yeah.
Like, it's. I like that conversation in the car, though, where she says, woo-hoo. You feeling better about that?
Oh, and when there's some great conversations in here when Mitch's talking about being in prison. He's like the story of like, and then my partner, the bonds went missing. What they found? Because I stole them, and he just admits it.
I love that story. That one's amazing because you think it's going to be something else, and then he does it. Uh, he's like, I've also had 3 gin and tonics. No, yeah. He says gin and tonics. And he's also drinking Finlandia, which is a nice Renny Harlin
Yeah, but apparently
tie in here.
an earlier draft of the script, he had a much darker like backstory of like being abused in prison, and like his wife having found out about that. That's the reason why she won't let the kids see him because of what happened to him in prison. And I'm glad they cut that. 'Cause that's dark. That's
That's some Con Air murdering that guy dark.
Yeah.
Well, even darker. Yeah, that's not necessary. Oh man, I'm in the PTA, then quit. I also love his outfits in this movie too, man.
Oh, he looks so great.
When he puts on the green jacket, green hat, and yellow sweater, it's this. And I just gotta say, I know we're just quoting lines, but I love in the beginning when he goes, "You know what happens when you assume you make an ass
out of
you." I think I got up around the house and I just ran around pumping my fist for a little bit because that's an amazing line right there. I'm like, because I've never heard that. Have you? I've never.
No. Yeah. I mean, obviously you have the outside of you and me, but this is the first time I've heard the you and umption. Yeah.
It's so stupid, but it's. And then that guy pukes. Hey, read the rights. Oh man,
He's just a homeless guy. Yeah.
Oh gosh, but and then the freezer bomb we haven't talked about.
Oh yeah, with the truck at the end.
No, when Geena Davis escapes the storage.
Oh yes, and when she's there, with the doll full of kerosene, which I thought that was the doll one of those ones that kind of urinates when you squeeze it or something, but no, she has to cut the hole in it. I think with the retainer. Like I did like they're just utilizing stuff she has available. So she's got a doll, she's got some kerosene, and she's got her daughter's retainer, and like fortunately matches.
Yeah, the matches. It all comes down to those matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, there's a lot. Man, Jay, we talk about this a lot, but there's a lot to this movie.
We talk about some of Harlin's death sequences being elaborate. This is just one long elaborate film.
There's probably, this could fill 3 movies. I think everything in here, and just the fact that we keep talking about more and more, and then his backstory. He visits this, like he has the diner, like with his kid, and he's doing that, and then it's
there's the water torture scene we haven't talked about, where she's strapped to a water when he's getting dunked and brought up again, and dunked and brought up again. That's like great.
Yeah, and then she like gets her memories back, and then kills the people. Charlie Baltimore's awesome. But then she has like this sheer white thing on. And you're like, what is happening here?
That's a Harlan thing, I think, of putting, it's the same thing that happens in
Whoa. So maybe we shouldn't believe what he says about the Saffron Burrows scene too. He's like, oh yeah, the studio told me.
Yeah.
We see you, Renny. We see you.
I did it with my wife. I can do it with anyone.
You cad. But you know what annoys me, Jay? And I'm going to be a broken record, but he went and he and Geena Davis, this amazing actor, made 2 cool action movies with her as the lead, and it was nothing but basically negative buzz. And then you think about Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich putting in $1 billion in an R-rated video game franchise with female leads. And then you have Len Wiseman directing Kate Beckinsale in movies that make $200 million. And all people can focus on is, oh, they're married. Like the husband makes an action movie for his wife. And it's like, who cares? Like it's such a weird thing to focus on instead of like, this is a pretty cool action movie that we're watching right now. And it's kind of a bummer that these are thought of like that. Because, Davis still loves it. Renny loves it. Sam Jackson still loves it.
Is it any different from like a director putting their friend in a film? Like, because how many times has De Niro and Scorsese worked together, or Scorsese and DiCaprio? Because they're mates. Like,
look at DiCaprio's friends, like Ethan Embry and all that crew. Not Ethan Embry, Ethan Suplee.
Yeah,
all of his crew's in Babylon, but he's not in it. It's kind of weird, Jay. I just want to let you know that Tobey Maguire's in Babylon.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Like Soderbergh and Clooney, they've worked together a bunch just because Clooney just finds friends and works with them a bunch. Like he's friends with the Coen brothers and just likes being an idiot in their films. If people like each other, they'll work together. And if they're married, then that's just convenient.
Wait, he loves being an idiot. Intolerable cruelty. No, oh
idiot.
brother, where art thou? Hail Caesar.
Yeah.
This is Burn After Reading. He has that
he's
chair.
always an idiot. I do like when they cast Brad Pitt in Burn After Reading, and he read the script and like, this guy is really dumb. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to cope with this. And they said to him, "You'll be fine." I think he's playing the biggest idiot. They just have such a low opinion of actors, I think.
That movie's beautiful. Burn After Reading. That subject, like, not that really. What's the word? I'm trying to think of. I didn't know where it was going. My brain is dead right now. It really subverted my expectations. There we go. And it's sometimes I think so fast I get like 8 words ahead of myself, and then when I have to come back to figure out something, it just doesn't work. But yeah, that took me a long time to. Like, it took me a second viewing to love, but the first time watching it with Malkovich punching people in the face and then the chair, but like you know what? Francis McDormand's in a bunch of Coen Brothers movies. No one complains about that. But you know what?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Put him in an action movie and it's like, like Geena Davis is badass in these movies. And I'm sorry if you have to cut that out. I'll stop saying that.
That's fine.
But yeah, this movie's cool, and it sucks that the stench from Last Action Hero, which is fun, and Cutthroat Island, it kind of sucks that shadowed this a lot. And then it kind of, Renny didn't stop because he followed this up. Like he had a pretty good run, but I think
he had like a 3-year break after this one, I think.
Wow.
But then, which is big for him because this came out 10 months after Cutthroat Island, and like he had Ford Fairlane and Die Hard 2 in the same year. In 1990, and then but he took a 3-year gap after that. So yeah, he does like 2 films, takes a gap.
Wow,
which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, it took a break, and also remember we were talking about Deep Blue Sea. He was heavily watched on Deep Blue Sea, so I think he had Akiva Goldsman on set watching him the whole time to stay in budget. So it just sucks that this is a good movie. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot here, but it kind of stinks that Shane Black had to step away because of the $4 million script, and then Geena Davis had to kind of step away. Then Renny Harlin took a break. Sam Jackson kept working, but it's
always
yeah. But it's kind of a bummer. I just think that this, but you know what's weird? I find myself defending this movie, but it's 6.8 on IMDb. It's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It made $95 million, and it's a cult classic. So I feel kind of weird being defensive over it.
I'm concerned about Sam Jackson because he's only had 1 film this year.
Uh-oh.
It's like he only had, that's a voice role. Halls of Fury: The Legend of Hank is his only 2022 film. But, he does have a TV series. He's
been working with his wife.
The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray.
Oh yeah, he did that
the
for
lead
Apple.
in a 6. Yeah, I've never heard of this show. Walton Goggins.
Oh, Walty Goggins in it?
Hell yeah.
Oh, they're buds. They did Hateful Eight together.
They did. Dominique Fishback?
Listen, this is off topic, but seeing Walton Goggins and Sam Jackson together at the end of Hateful Eight, and just knowing that these two were sort of getting most of the coverage, and how much of a fan I am of Justified and just Sam Jackson in general, made me so happy that it was those two. It was, Walty Goggins. Timmy Ollie.
Hateful Eight, great film, does not get talked about enough.
No, it's just, do you think it's just hard? It's harsh. It's very harsh movie.
It's like a long film set mostly in one place. So I can see people getting or thinking they'll get tired of it. So like I watched that and I'm glued. I'm there. It's beautiful.
It's thrilling. It's really thrilling. And great performances. You got Curdy Russ in there. I'm just giving everyone weird names today. But yeah. I love me some Walty Goggins. But it's
Brucey Dern.
Timmy Rothy. Who's having a good chant. Dami Bashiri. Dami Bishi.
Demi Bishi, yeah.
Jenny Jason.
Jenny Jaisley. Jenny Jaisley, yeah.
Mikey Maddie.
Zobel?
Have we named everyone?
Yeah.
Is there anybody left that we forgot?
Zoe Bell has
Oh,
a
Zoe
small
Belly.
role. Zoe Bell. Uh,
I think we got all the
I
8.
think we got the 8. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a good job there.
All right.
Let's do an episode where we do all Tarantino movies and just call them all the characters'
Oh no.
nicknames. Got Johnny Travolta's.
You got Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Amanda Plummy. Eric Stoltze.
We leave Steve Buscemi alone. We just keep him.
Stevie Buscemi. Stevie Bush.
Stevie Bush. The mighty Stevie Bush.
I'm old Greg. Oh man, we've lost it. But yeah, wait. You know what? We went so far. I can normally go back to things, but
It's not happening.
in my head, it was really tough to get back to Long Kiss. But you know what? This is the movie. Our conversation right now is the movie because the movie just keeps like by the end, dude. When they're in the truck and then they're on the bridge and then she's shooting at a helicopter and then they're driving away. It's a lot. It's almost on par for me with the train scene on Speed and the fire truck chase in Con Air. Like I don't think they're necessary. I don't like by the end of Long Kiss Goodnight, you're kind of like, I'd rather just get them back in the car saying woohoo about people, or her kicking Sam Jackson out of a car, him laying there for a minute, and then her coming back and picking him up.
I should have asked my wife at the start of the film what she thought was going to happen. Just like 10 minutes in, everything's just kind of nice and pleasant. She's in the parade, everything's going okay. What does she think? Because there's not in a million years would she guess like, oh, there's going to be like a plot to raise funds and blow up a bridge and guys get stabbed in the eye
and there's 2 dressing montages.
Yep.
This movie. Oh man, this is so. I said in my notes I wrote the world needs more ice skating chases
with like guns strapped to the back. Yeah, it's a cool look.
There's so much to this movie. Oh man.
Sam Jackson hits Brian Cox with a golf club, which I feel like is Sam Jackson's own golf club. Or maybe that was the first time he swung one. I thought, oh, I like this.
He swings more golf clubs in that another movie he does with Robert Carlyle.
Oh, the Formula 51.
Yeah.
Or the 51st state is called in the UK.
He goes heavy on those. But yeah. I mean, the whole plot of this movie is they're going to blow this up again. They were going to do it, but it failed, so now they're going to do it again. It's so unimportant to this movie.
But yeah, it's mainly about she's getting her memory back and she was an assassin. The reason why doesn't matter. Like she's just trying to kill them because they're trying to kill her. I think it's the main thing. Why are they trying to kill her? Don't worry about it. She knows stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Man, you know what's interesting, Jay? I just had to watch the John Wick trilogy for an upcoming video.
You've got to watch the John Wick trilogy there's no had to. You've got to.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's a pinch myself when you get paid to do it. But I was thinking to myself, when do you just stop? So you're a crime lord, Jay. You are, Knuckles, Jay Knuckles, and
Jay Knuckles.
You have a gold tooth like Vinnie Jones from Snatch. You have a Desert Eagle. You have a bunch of henchmen, and John Wick's like, listen, your right hand man killed my goldfish. I want him dead. Just let it happen. Like, you're gonna look terrible. It's either let your right hand man die or everybody, all of your henchmen, and then that'll kick off something. Yeah, exactly. And everyone will understand. Like, guys, okay, everyone get together. Like, take a seat. Quiet, Hank. Here's what's happening. This idiot over here killed John Wick's goldfish. We either protect him and all die, or we just let John Wick have him.
That's all considered as a learning experience. Don't kill John Wick's goldfish. Yes, there are consequences to your actions. Mike here is about to learn about that. Bye, Mike. It's been fun. I've agreed we can go out for a drink first, kind of enjoy your last night, but tomorrow you ain't going to bed again. This is it.
We'll do like an opposite stag night. We'll do like a death night, and we'll go out and get you plowed. And
it's also like 25th hour. It's the last time before you go to prison.
That would be an amazing movie. John Wick's killing me tomorrow. Let's go party tonight. Yeah. Oh man, and just Yeah, it's all, listen, guys. I know that you think I'm letting one of our family members die, but you have to remember he killed John Wick's fish. Like he's the selfish one. Like he's the selfish one.
He's
Let's
screwed
get
up. We're not
yeah.
all paying for his. He did it. Like, I just have to say, Vinnie Jones in Snatch has a bullet tooth, not a gold tooth. He has a bullet tooth,
Oh,
totally.
bullet
Joe
tooth.
Pesci
Yeah.
in Home Alone has a gold tooth. I just say that,
Okay.
or we will get messages.
You have both. Okay.
Okay. You got
So
one of each.
Jay Knuckles has one of each, and you have like that. Yeah, you have one. You have your yeah. Jay Bullet Tooth Knuckles. Gold
Bullet
Tooth.
Knuckles. Bullet Knuckles.
Oh, Bullet Knuckles. Yeah.
I had a knuckle shot out, and so I had a bullet put in there instead.
Listen, Jay. It's just, when do you stop? Like in this movie, they could have just let her be.
Yeah.
Listen. This is who you are. It's cool. Do your thing. Like, let her be. Do not poke the bear.
Yeah.
Don't because it just gets to a point where it's like, when is this worth it? Like, we could have avoided this. Like, stop. I don't know. I know it's a trait for movies, but you're just thinking like that guy who goes after John Wick in 2, like, you have to fulfill my marker, and then he betrays him. It's like, oh, yeah. Stupid are you, man? Like what? It's the boogeyman. So with her, just let Charlie Baltimore be. Let her do her thing, and Jay Bullet Knuckles is safe.
Yep. I'm not letting my organization go down for a fish. One fish.
If I was your third in command, I would get your back. I'd be like, listen, I'm not dying because of him killing a goldfish. Like, I know better.
So, speaking of fish, how is Long Kiss Goodnight like Deep Blue Sea? Well,
Look at you. Look at you, Jay.
Obviously, directed by Renny Harlin. Features Samuel L. Jackson. It features an actor whose surname is Cox. The lead female wears a key. She's got a key on her bracelet, and Saffron Burrows has a key around her neck.
Wow.
A character is told off for smoking. The kid at the start. There's a party scene. Someone is injured by an animal. That's because it's a deer rather than a shark. There's a kitchen cooking scene, a kitchen fight scene. There's a prison break. One-eyed breaks out of prison. A teddy bear. Like the teddy bear that falls off the boat at the start of Deep Sea. One-eyed Jack falls over on the M&Ms, just like Thomas Jane falls over on everything. They kill an animal. Sam Jackson has a lighter in this film. He talks about his time in prison.
Wow.
There's a high jump into water. There's a helicopter flying over water. The lead actress is in her underwear at one point. There's a dead body found underwater. They're in a church at one point. It says probably a preacher in that church, is my guess.
Yeah.
A daughter is sedated. In this case, it's Geena Davis' daughter. In Deep Blue Sea, it's the shark daughter. That a daughter just happens to also be a shark. There's a big explosion at the end. A parent is afflicted with a memory-based ailment. That's another massive explosion, kitchen fight. They had to reshoot the ending to change if a character lives or dies.
Wow.
And it's mainly all about raising funds. That's also what Deep Blue Sea is mainly about, is Sam Jackson coming there to not shut them down. And this is all about the government raising funds for anti-terrorism.
Wow.
None of these are a stretch, I think. None of these are a stretch. These are all just like comparisons.
These are like the similarities between Ernest Goes to Jail and Paddington, too.
Absolutely. Which you can hear more about on Can't Out the Podcast. And finally, Mark, how deep and blue do you think Long Kiss Goodnight is?
6% blue and deep. No, it's like there's a helicopter. She gets in the air for a little bit. She's on the third story. She's in a car, like a meter high.
Yeah, it's about 3 feet, so 0.9 meters high. So it's less deep than. Well, it's higher than Nightmare on Elm Street 4, just under Placid in terms of its depth. So it's in that region of about a meter off the ground. And blueness, it's only 1.3% blue. This is awfully not blue. This is our third least bluest film. But it's still not Renny Harlin's least bluest film. The Covenant still has that claim.
Oh man,
And
can you?
Lifeboat will never be budged from that bottom spot. But yeah, Long
Oh,
Kiss Goodnight is there above the Covenant and less blue than Lake Placid.
when can you get me these charts?
I can just share the Google Doc with you, I guess.
And I'll make it. If
Yeah.
you share it with
Okay.
me, I'll make it.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's I mean, I kind of want to finish all of Renny Harlin's films first, and we can do like a post on like, is Deep Blue Sea the deepest, bluest Renny Harlin film? That kind of thing. So we've still got
Yes.
a few to go. Once that happens, then I've made this promise before. Once this happens, then we'll do some kind of a. We will
Yeah.
see. But yeah, that's how deep and blue Long Kiss Goodnight is, and that's the end of our happy Hollandaise.
Oh,
In my head, sounds like Hollandaise. It's
hap-
It's Helsinki Hollandaise.
happy Harlan days. Yeah. Helsinki Hollandaise.
Yeah,
Delicious.
there we go. So any more thoughts on this film or anything to plug?
This is a lot. It's a lot, and I love it.
So,
And it's a lot, and I love Davis and Jackson together. Yeah, sometimes on film, I don't notice it much. I really don't. But sometimes you notice when two people are just having a good time together. And these two are having a good time together. So that's my final thought.
yeah, I agree. I think like Sam Jackson, a great fit for Shane Black's dialogue. It's a shame he wasn't in Iron Man 3. I think that's one of the
No.
ones that I think that's one of the ones that Sam Jackson skipped in the MCU. What the hell?
Oh,
So
could have
it's a
nailed that.
shame because he would have done well. Yeah, he's not in Iron Man 3. What was he doing? He made Turbo and Old Boy that year. He should have made Iron Man 3 instead of both of those films.
Sadler
Uh,
was, though. So there's a Renny Harlin connection.
that's true. Yes. Yes. I didn't think. Yeah. They're all still connected. When I was just looking up like facts about Long Kiss Goodnight, one of the things I saw was like, Geena Davis was married to Renny Harlin at the time, and Sam Jackson's their co-star. Sam Jackson had also been in Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern, who would become romantically involved. And outside of this film, Laura Dern was in a relationship with Renny Harlin, and Jeff Goldblum was in a relationship with Geena Davis. Like, how is that? It's not really a fact about Long Kiss Goodnight. That's just like that's. Sam Jackson was
Wait,
nearby two couples who switched.
wait, Renny Harlin was in a relationship with Laura Dern?
Yeah, he produced Rambling Rose, the film that she's in,
Oh,
um,
wow.
in 1991. Which, when we run out of Harlan directed films, maybe we'll look at what he's produced. Maybe we'll do an episode on Blast from the Past,
Oh, yeah.
produced
Which
by
ones
Renny
do we have
Harlin.
left?
So
I
still
got
to go, we have to do Driven, which we'll do soon. Exorcist: The Beginning, which
Oh,
will probably be next October. Cleaner, 5 Days of War, which we talked about Die
oh
Hard.
yeah.
Die Hard 2, actually, we'll later mention that one. We're trying to work out which Renny Harlin film has the highest body count. And it's probably 5 Days of War, because like loads of people die in Die Hard 2. A plane full of people die. But 5 Days of War has a war in it. Devil's Pass, Legends of Hercules, and then the films he's made since going to China.
If
So,
if
Legend of the
you
Ancient Sword, Bodies at Rest, Reunion 3. That kind of
okay,
thing.
if you
The rest.
skip me for Legend of Hercules, I'm gonna be very annoyed because Scott Adkins is in it.
Hey, I've got you written down for that one.
All
Don't you
right, good.
worry. That's on there. And yeah, Driven we should be doing soon. I've already got a guest signed up for Exorcist at the beginning. I don't know how I managed to do that because that film sounds terrible. Uh, yeah, one of Harlan's 6 nominees for Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Director.
Yes.
6. It's got to be
That's
one of
so
the most
sad.
nominated. Never won though. Never won.
Listen, you need to listen to that commentary.
For Driven, I promise you I will. I have the DVD next to me. I just need to watch it at some point.
Okay. There's a Stallone commentary where he just talks about all the deleted scenes that he's in, and he's pissed off about it.
I can understand being pissed off about that. But
But
how long is
he
Driven
sat
already?
down. He sat down to make that speech. He sat down to do a commentary about being mad. Like, this movie would be better if I had this. Like, it's crazy. I have never listened to anything like that ever.
It's already just shy of 2 hours long. How long does he want the film to be?
Yeah, he wanted to be like a Rocky comeback movie, and Renny Harlin's like MTV. Like, let's do MTV. Like, let's make more fun. Let's have more fun. So, but yeah, all right.
We'll get there soon, hopefully. Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea has a 39% audience rating. That's the dumbest thing I've ever. everyone teach their own. I don't want to be a judgy, entitled person.
People are wrong.
Yes, it's people. You're watching Deep Blue Sea wrong. It's like you go to watch a baseball game and you give it low ratings because they play baseball. Like you go to Deep Blue Sea and it's about sharks eating people. Like, oh, it sucks. Like, no, it's Deep Blue Sea. It's about a genetically modified sharks eating people. That's annoying.
Yeah, so he's got 4 films that are marked as fresh. Deep Blue Sea is fresh. 69.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger, 67. Long Kiss Goodnight, 68. Die Hard, 69. No, Bodies at Rest, which I'm not sure if that film actually exists. I don't know. It's a 2019 film. I don't know. It probably does. But that's going to be his highest rated directing film at 83%, but we haven't covered that yet, so maybe we will. But like, it was great. That 39% audience score is ridiculous. It's such an entertaining film.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm angry. This isn't good.
Yeah.
You know what his next movie is? A former CIA agent who left to become a bricklayer is asked to step in and help stop a criminal operation who are demanding a series of ransom payments. The bricklayer is like, Renny, you gotta stop, man. You gotta stop. Just make it simple. Make it simple.
Does he know we're trying to cover all of his films?
Yeah.
For our sake.
Like, listen, Renny, we love you, but like, you know, he's a bricklayer. Like, it's just.
And then calling the film The Bricklayer?
I mean, all right, let's get out of here, Jay. I know you're busy.
Okay, so what have you got to plug, Mark?
It's Movie Films and Flakes, Movie Films on FLX. Go listen to the podcast. Check it out. Yeah.
Yep.
And Con Air Pod. Con Air the podcast.
Con Air the podcast. We're going through Con Air, scene by scene. Find me on the Lambcast once a month hosting Lampity, movie trivia. I am going to be on that soon for the final of 2022. Spoiler for another episode, where I'm competing in the final, and it's going to go terribly. That's scheduled soon. It's going to happen soon. Well, we had mentioned another podcast that we're going to do an Avatar: The Way of Water bonus episode. We're both very busy right now, and I haven't seen it yet, so that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. We might wait till that's streaming and do like a full, proper, deep blue analysis of it. That sounds.
You're going to drive yourself mad.
If I'm going to see it soon. Yeah. If I do that, try and do that in the cinema, yes, I will. That would help drive me insane.
Pause it.
I can't see. Yeah, so I'll go and watch it in cinema, but then once it hits Disney Plus or whatever, then we'll cover it there. So there will be an Avatar: Way of Water episode at some point, just not yet. But coming up soon, this is the last episode of the year, but we're going to bring in the new year with the Poseidon Adventure, which sounds like a great New Year's film. And all being well, that'll be a double bill with Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, a less good film. So we'll see those in 2023, next year, my God. But as for Long Kiss Goodnight, as for Deep Blue Sea the podcast, thank you everyone who's listened in 2022. We've had a great time covering all these films and podcasting. I hope you enjoyed listening to them. But yeah, for Long Kiss Goodnight, I've been Jake Look.
And I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
And we'll deeply see you again soon. I almost did the Con Air one. Come back next month.
Sigh.
Hanara!